Hello everyone, my name is Josh Maurer. I'm an instructor of Broken Plow Western Martial Arts. I teach longsword on Wednesdays, but today's sword and buckler again. Why? Because it's awesome. What we're going to go over today is what to do from high binds and low binds. So last time we talked about this, we talked about Schiltslach and Stichslach. And those are one of the two big things that you want to do with 133 binding, because they are probably the most effective because it takes control of their sword and shield when you execute them. But they're not the only things you can do from the bind. So if we take a look at high binds, you have three options. You can do what's called a Tritt or Tretten, which means to step through. You can attack to the left of their blade, or you can attack to the right of their blade. And now to help me demonstrate that is Cody Boone, one of our instructors.
Hi guys.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start out by being in dueling shoots and guards. And to get there, we're going to go from Ward 2. So, both in Ward 2, we both come in, we're both in shoots. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Dirk Tritt, or step through. I'm going to step through to my right, and I'm going to shoot the window between his sword and shield into his shoulder. I'm going to come across onto his hands and press it down. Slice. So a Dirk Tritt is basically similar to a Zecker or a tag hit. It's basically just taking what they give you and getting out. So show that again. Both in Ward 2, shoots in, Dirk Tritt. Now, the other thing you can do is attack to the left side of his blade. Now, in 133, it says this is what most common fencers would do. So, if we're up there and shoots him, I'm going to come around like a Zverkow with my shield protecting me and cutting into his face. Okay? You don't do that. Boom. All the way. Getting around his blade with a Zverkow and coming into his face, protecting yourself with the buckler. Now if we tack to the right side, this is what the priest counsels in 133. So this is what him and 133 practitioners would really do. I would come to the right side of his blade, and then I'd come in to his face. It's not necessarily attack to the right side of his head, but on the right side of his blade. So once again, that gets you behind. It's very similar to doubling over his blade. It's just that I'm not staying around. I have my buckler to protect me. So those are high binds. Now, in low binds, we have, again, a few options, depending kind of on what the low bind is. And basically when we talk about low binds, it's where their hands are relative to us. So if their hands are kind of low to us, if they're like below our chest level, or kind of around here, this is a low bind for us. And that gives us some options. So first one we're going to go over is what happens if we end up both with our points down in a low bind. So we're both going to be in a guard called Kruka. What's going to happen is that this gives me an opportunity to shoot in with my point underneath his sword and shield for a stab to the chest. It's awesome and great and all, but you also have to be aware that you may not kill him right away, right? You don't want this to happen. But what he has, because he wants to, one, stop the thrust, and two, attack me in the head, because that's also cool for him. So he's going to wind his buckler over. He's going to try and hit me in the face.
I can actually get the sword.
I'm going to wind my buckler underneath my hand and put my point up to block him. Okay? So if we run through that again, we're both in Kruka. I'm going to shoot my point in. He's going to rotate point up. I'm going to rotate my buckler underneath and bring my sword point up as well to block. Okay? So the initial thing I want to do is I want to try and thrust him, but I have to be aware of my head getting hit. Now, the next thing we'll go over is wrestling. So 133, it talks about wrestling, both in the general term and on a very specific move with 133. So if, say, he is in Ward 3, and you go to the displacer, which doesn't really have much of a name, but we're going to give it Schrankhut. Here, he's going to want to bind over top my blades. He's going to come over top in this low bind here. Okay, so he has the overbind right now, which for him is a good position, but he has to act. If I know this is coming because I'm in this displacer, my immediate action is to step forward, bring my buckler arm over top of both his arms, and come underneath and trap his arms. The only way he's getting out is if he drops his weapons. Then he can step back. But then guess what? And that's kind of what we want. If he doesn't let go, then you can bash him with the pommel. You can bring your blade across and slice him. You can get your point in and stab him. Whatever you want, because he can't do anything to you. So we'll go through that one more time. I'm in Special Ward 2. He's in Ward 3. I come here with the spacer. He overbinds across. I come and wrestle. Now there's one more wrestle I didn't go over Cody, but it's not to be that hard.
Okay.
So this wrestle is if I'm in the position where I'm in Ward 1 and Cody is in Hauptschild, and I go to strike at his hands, he goes to block and go for the overbind, right? Our hands are now low. So right about now, he's probably gonna be going for the Schiltslach, right? Right, you can come this way, but 133 also recommends, if he comes in, to come this way with your sword hand, and then just bash him with your shield unless he wants to let go, right? And then again, so we're in the same position, he drops him, and he wants to wrestle with me.
It's like, oh no wrestling anymore.
Right? So if he's quick, he might try and latch onto you and grapple you. So be aware of that in that situation because your back's turned. Right? You're taking away the threat of his weapons, but there's still one more weapon, and that's him. And then finally, what we're going to do is, again, the third option you have in a low bind, is Dirk Tritt, right? You still have that in the low bind. So he's in 3, and I'm going to be in the Special 2 place, right? He's got the overbind. All I'm going to do is I'm going to step out and take the hands, okay? Step through. One more time. Take the hands with, and hopefully then I can cut some tendons, cut some ligaments, and he can't hold that buckler anymore. Or at least it's going to be a lot harder. So that's what you can do from high binds and low binds. Quick review of what we just talked about. In high binds, you can either do Dirk Tritt, attack to the left side of their blade, or the right side of their blade. In low binds, you can either stab them, but protect your head. You can Dirk Tritt, or you can wrestle. Again, I'm Josh Maurer. I'm instructor of Broken Plow. That was Cody Brune, another instructor at Broken Plow. He teaches on Sundays. And thank you guys for watching.